So hello guys, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. So today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was Godfather of Akatsuki clan? Episode 1. Do 100 likes for part 2. Now let's move on to the video. How? How are you so powerful, Uzumaki? Asked the nearly dead Toby. Because I am fighting for something change. And I believe the best course lies with Akatsuki. Face it, Izuna. Your time is up and your plan in shambles. I am the new Akatsuki leader and you are just a footnote. Said Uzumaki Naruto as he plunged his katana into Uchiha Izuna's heart, ending the legend once and for all. It is done. Akatsuki is mine. He said as he pulled the blade out of Izuna's corpse and replaced it within its sheath. He then turned to the 4 people standing behind him. So, you've gotten control of Akatsuki. What are you going to do now, Dobe? Came the voice of Uchiha Sasuke. First of all, I'm not the Dobe anymore. Second of all, you're under my command, Sasuke. Don't think for a minute that Taka isn't within Akatsuki's jurisdiction. And thirdly, I will be destroying that monstrosity. Said Naruto as he pointed to the Jito Meizo. Kiss him, if you will. Hi. Spoke kiss him as he went through the hand seals for the Sakauta no Jutsu, water shark bullet technique, and sent a couple at the Jito Meizo. Needless to say, it was reduced to rubble. Zetsu, go locate Haiden's whereabouts. I think we'll need him. But about his new leader, Zetsu sunk into the ground to carry out his assignment. And what of me, Naruto-sama? Came the angelic voice of Konan. You shall be with me, Konan. Like you served Nagato, you shall serve me. And our first order of business is to gather recruits for Akatsuki. Sasuke, you shall do the same. Get one of your team members and go to Kiri. Send the other 2 to Kumo. And where will you be going? Asked Sasuke. Konoha. Konoha, midnight. The village was slowly, but surely, being repaired. About a quarter of the village was already rebuilt and another 2 quarters more than halfway finished. I gotta say, Pain did a number here. Said Yamato as he was walking around, patrolling as it were. He destroyed the entire village, so I'd say he did do a number. I swear, sometimes you're slow, Tenzo. Said Kakashi nonchalantly as he was reading his Icha Icha book. I told you not to refer to me by that name, senpai. By Kami you did, didn't you? Oh well. Mistakes happen. By the way, has anyone been able to locate Naruto? At that Kakashi sighed. No, and no one will. When he doesn't want to be found, no one will find him, and that's what worries me. Maybe he's taking some personal time. Fighting the person that killed your godfather can really set you back. So maybe he's taking a break to get himself straight once again. I hope you're right, Tenzo, I hope you're right. Senpai, you called me that name again. Did you say something? And then no senpai, you're impossible. What they were unaware of, however, was the object of their conversation was standing on a rooftop right above them, his new Akatsuki cloak fluttering softly with the midnight air. Infiltration successful now, to business. We're here to recruit promising individuals. And with me being from here, I know most of the candidates. I'll follow you, Naruto-sama. No Konan. You shall remain out of sight. You were part of the destruction of Konoha, so they would recognize you. They still think I'm loyal, so they wouldn't suspect me. Stay with the shadows and, if you have to follow, keep a fair distance, but don't involve yourself unless you absolutely have to. I understand. One more thing, hold my cloak for me. Said our blonde hero as he pulled his hood down, unbuttoned his cloak, and handed it to Konan, who slipped it into her pack. He's wearing the same style of cloak Toby wore when he announced he was a Uchiha Madara, but this one has sleeves, so like Sasuke's. He then took his Konoha Hitai out of his pocket and tied it on. He has yet to scratch his. Once preparations were complete, he leaped off the building and onto the streets below. Spotting Kakashi and Yamato, he ran up to them. Boy. Kakashi-sensei. Yamato Taichu. And Naruto. Where were you all this time? Asked Kakashi. I was clearing my head. Sorry if I scared you too. No, it's alright, Naruto. We understand. But, now that you're here, we'd better fill you in on the details. What did I miss? There's going to be a Cages Summit in Tetsu no Kuni, Land of Iron, in a few weeks. All 5 cages are going to meet to discuss what to do with Akatsuki. No need to worry about them, Yamato Taichu. I had a run-in with Toby while I was out and, well, let's just say he's no longer a problem. Wait, you killed Toby? Naruto, this is very good news. We must tell the council right away. You know I hate the council, Yamato. I know, Naruto. But we need to get this information through. You've ended the Akatsuki, that's no small feat. You've even made the Cage Summit invalid. It doesn't have to happen now. Naruto, please. Just one meeting with the council and it'll all be over. Pleaded Kakashi. Damn it, alright, let's go. Both Yamato and Kakashi nodded and turned, as if going towards the council's tent. Naruto, who was lagging behind purposefully, nodded at one of the dark corners of an alley. Konan, who was hiding there, got the message and rushed out, knocking Yamato to the ground, and plunging a kunai into his heart in one swift move. And before Kakashi could react, he felt something cold and sharp run through his chest. He looked back and saw Naruto there with his right hand grasping the very katana that penetrated his heart. With his last breath he muttered one thing. Why? Kakashi went limp on the blade, and Naruto tore his katana out of the lifeless shell that was Sharingan no Kakashi, then replaced back into the sheath. Preserve these bodies, Konan. They both have extraordinary tales to tell and a trove of jutsu to pass on. Hi, Naruto-sama. With those words, Konan used her Shikigami no Mai, dance of the formula paper, to wrap the bodies of Kakashi and Yamato up in paper, then sealed them up into a storage scroll. With those two out of the way, our operation has become that much easier. Do you know of any people who stand out when it comes to skill, or people who have potential? Several. Though the problem is their loyalty to this village. But I think I know a couple who would join me, regardless of what banner I fly. Then who's number one on your list? Hyuga Hinata. Temporary Hyuga estate. There, on her bed, sat the heiress herself. Hyuga Hinata. She was staring out of her window and into the starlit midnight sky, enjoying the feel of the cool air brushing against her skin. Wearing naught but a bra and some comfy pants, she felt the scar left by Pain's stab, and remembered back to that day. Naruto-kun, where are you? Are you avoiding me? Has the Akatsuki captured you? Oh, Kami forbid that from happening. Wherever you are, Naruto-kun, my love shall always follow you. She let out a sad sigh and laid back on her bed. There was a small gust of wind, and she shivered slightly, then leaned up to look out her window again. But there, sitting with his back against the wall, his left leg propped up and his left elbow propped on his left knee, and with his right leg hanging out of the window, was the object of her concerns and dreams. Yo, Hinata. Spoke Naruto softly. And Naruto-kun. Who else wears all this orange? She laughed sweetly at that. No one but you would be that bold. You seem more confident now, Hinata. Usually when we speak like this, you faint. Hi, the pain incident changed me, but for the better. I was able to tell me you love me. I remember. And that's why I'm here. At that, Naruto fully stepped into Hinata's room and approached her. What do you mean, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked, blushing at what her mind was imagining. Hinata, take a look at this. Naruto held up his right hand, the back of his hand facing her. She looked closely, then saw what he wanted her to see. There, sitting on his right thumb, was the ring labeled Rei, 0, the ring of the Akatsuki leader, and Hinata knew this. Her face changed from curiosity to horror, and she backed away slowly. Hinata, please. Hear me out. If your love for me meant anything to you, please, stay. I'll at least listen. That's all I ask. Naruto motioned for Hinata to sit back down, and, of course, she did. He sat in a chair across from her bed. I have, indeed, joined the Akatsuki. Not only that, but I am its leader now. I joined because I believe the road to true peace lies with the Akatsuki. I realize, during my conversation with Nagato, the true body of pain, that I can't lead the world to true peace by myself. I needed an organization. I needed power, standing, money, I needed a lot. So, with so few options, I turned to my greatest enemy, the Akatsuki, of course. I'll be honest with you, Hinata, I have already killed 2 former comrades, because they were going to get in the way of my plight for true peace. You, Naruto-kun, Kakashi and Yamato. They were going to tell the council that I took out Tobi. That would have made the call for the Cage Summit null, and I couldn't have that. What do you plan to do at the Cage Summit? All in due time. Anyway, everything that I have done, everything that I will do, will be in the name of peace. I will make Iro Sennin's dream a reality. But, as I said, I can't do it alone. So, I leave you with that speech and this. Naruto then reached into his pocket and took a small object out and tossed it to Hinata, who caught it. What was in her hand surprised her it was another ring, this one labeled Hoku, North, the ring of Kakuzu. Naruto-kun, why? That's how much I trust you, Hinata. When you make up your mind, meet me at the village gates in an hour. And with those parting words, Naruto disappeared in a Shadobler, headed towards his next target. Haruno Sakura. Medic's residential tent. Sakura stepped into her tent after another long day. She sighed heartily and flopped into a comfy chair, oblivious to the other person in the tent with her. You know, it's rude to ignore someone, Sakura-chan. Ha. Naruto. When did you get back? Just now, and I bring news. Urgent news. What is it? I found Sasuke. What? Where is he? He's joined the Akatsuki, as kind of a scout unit. Within the Akatsuki's jurisdiction, but not technically part of the Akatsuki. Sasuke-kun, he wouldn't really do that, would he? Why wouldn't he? I did. What do you mean? She got her answer when Naruto flashed his ring like he did with Hinata. You see the 0 ring, so that means I'm the leader of the Akatsuki. And I'm telling you right now. We need you, Sakura-chan. Not only will you be building up your skills if you join, but you'll be with Sasuke again. Don't you want that? Hi. More than anything. Then here. Naruto tossed another ring, and Sakura caught it. This one was labeled Ao, blue, the ring of Dadar. When you're ready, meet me at the gates in an hour. And again, with those words, Naruto disappeared. This time he was heading towards the residential tents, but on his way, he saw a kid about a year younger than him being harassed by some looters. He stopped to take a look at this spectacle. The kid had black hair that was slightly spiky, and green eyes. He wore what looked like regular civilian clothes. Give us all your money, kid. You don't want to mess with me, trust me. I suggest you get lost. It's 3-on-1, even if you fight us, we have you outnumbered. Now don't make me repeat myself. Repeat yourself, please. I think I'm hearing things. Oh, wait, I know what that sound is. In an instant, the kid was upon the man, his hand wrapped firmly around his throat. The other two thugs stepped in, but two clones of the kid popped out of nowhere and did to them what the original did to the ringleader. By this point, the sound of gurgling and choking filled the air. Sweet, sweet sounds, music to my ears, the kid said softly. And with just one flick of his wrist, he broke the ringleader's neck. His clones did the same. Naruto, now crouching over the edge of the building, whistled in approval. The kid dropped the lifeless body and his clones dispelled, dropping their husks as well. The kid then turned his attention to Naruto. Impressive if I do say so myself. What's your name, kid? Asked Naruto. Mandu. Kazuhiro Mandu. And you are? Uzumaki Naruto, at your service. And what is it you want, Naruto-san? You? I'm gathering recruits for an organization known as Akatsuki, and I need new members. And I must say, you'd fit in nicely. What do you say? Your offer intrigues me, Naruto-san, I accept. Then here you go. Like the last time, Naruto took out a ring and he dropped it down to Mandu, who caught it. This one was labeled Shu, Vermilion, the ring of Itachi. Meet me at the gates in an hour. And, like before, Naruto disappeared again, headed towards the residential tents once again. Residential tents. Naruto had spent a good 15 minutes searching for this particular tent. Now, stopping at the desired tent, he smirked and entered. Inside was the person he was looking for. Boy, Konohamaru, wake up. Konohamaru, who was having a nice dream, turned over and woke up slowly. Naichin. What's up? Konohamaru, I need you for something. For what exactly? Akatsuki. Stop joking, Naichin. I'm serious, Konohamaru. I've joined the Akatsuki as its leader. And I need you there with me. Fuck that idea. Pain destroyed my village. He killed your godfather. Now you're joining the very organization that wanted to kill you. What the fuck, Naruto? It's for peace. Your grandfather believed in it, Iro-sen believed in it, my two-san believed in it, and I believe in it. Why don't you? Wait. Your two-san? Who was he? You wouldn't believe me even if I told you. Try me. Beyond aim Hokage. Namikaze Minato. You're shitting me. I'm not. But my two-san isn't an object of our discussion. Will you join me out of either your relation to me, or out of memory of Jiji? If beyond aim, my Jiji, and you believe in this, then I can too. I'm in. Then take this. He handed Konohamaru a ring. This one was labeled Jyoku, Jewel, the ring of Tobi. Now, pack your things and follow me to the gates. Hi. I know this is big, but it's for a greater good. Leaving will take some time to get over, but trust me when I say you won't regret it in the end. But Akatsuki are made up of S-rank criminals. I'm barely even ready to take the Chunin exams, said Konohamaru over his shoulder as he was packing. I'll train you. I'll raise you up to your full potential. And you're not the only Konohanin that will be defecting tonight. Sakura, Hinata, and another person are coming with us as well. Oh, I feel much better. Konohamaru said snidely. Glad you do. Now, hurry up. Village gates. Naruto and Konohamaru finally made it to the gates, and the other three recruits were waiting for them. Good, everyone's here. Now, everyone, we have another person traveling with us, Konan, you can come out. Obeying her order, Konan stepped out of the shadows and stood next to Naruto. This is Konan, my subordinate and my second in command. She will be traveling with us for the duration of our journey. And where exactly are we going? Asked Mandu. The Uzashigakure, village hidden by the whirling tides, ruins. Why there, Naruto-kun? Because the Megakure was compromised and I don't want to take the risk of setting up our headquarters there again. We'll hire contractors and builders to rebuild the village to its former glory, and we'll set up there. Sound plan, Naruto-sama. Of course, we need to keep the reconstruction effort anonymous and as inconspicuous as we can make it. But we'll worry about that when the time comes to worry about it. For now, we press on to a Megakure, which will serve as our temporary HQ, until Yuzu can be rebuilt. Any questions before we set off? Can we put our rings on? Asked Sakura. Yes, go ahead and put them on. Everyone there did so. Now, take your hit I-8 and slash through the Konoha insignia. Hinata, Sakura, and Konohamaru did so, but Mandu didn't. Mandu, you're a shinobi, aren't you? I was, but I turned in my hit I-8 a long time ago. Fair enough. Now with these things done, all that's left to do is to leave. Once we do that, you all are officially Akatsuki members. Naruto said as he started walking, leading the group out of Konoha. Once everyone crossed the threshold and stepped outside, Naruto ushered these words. Congratulations, you all are part of the Akatsuki now. Serve well and do your job, for you are now enemies of the shinobi nations. They shall show you no mercy should they cross paths with you, so you should show no quarter as well. You have chosen the right side, however. And only time shall tell whether we shall succeed or fail. Are you sure about letting these rookies into the Akatsuki this early on, Naruto-sama? Asked Konan, who was leaning against a tree, her back to it, and a concerned look on her face. You let me in, didn't you? You're different. You defeated Nagato's Diva Path and you defeated Tobi. Though I have no idea how you defeated the latter of the two. You already know, Konan. And as to these rookies, well, they're my friends, at least the majority of them are, but they are just Chunin and Genin. Maybe I should hold off on them being an actual part of Akatsuki. Thank you, Naruto-sama. It's just for the Akatsuki, Conan. I need this organization strong, and right now, we're a quarter strength. We make them strong, Naruto-sama. I hope you're right, Conan. With that, he looked up towards the full moon that was out and stared at it. Naruto-sama. Go to bed, Conan. It's my shift anyway. Hi, she said as she started to walk away, but stopped and turned to her leader one last time. I'm glad it was you who inherited Nagato and Yahiko's dream. No one else but you can pull this off, Naruto. I believe in you, always remember that. And with that, Conan excused herself to her tent. Once she was gone, Naruto sighed heavily, fell back into the soft grass, put his hands behind his head, and just admired the night sky. Truly, the new Akatsuki leader had a lot on his mind, as well as new burdens, the biggest of which was being a Nukenin from Konoha. I wonder what my bounty will be. Since I killed Pain, I'm certainly S rank. Maybe I'll get an S rank bounty on top of having the bounty for my return to Konoha, so they can get the Kyuubi. He thought, frowning at the last part. Damn idiots, a lot of them, on that council. The only decent ones were Bachan, Shizune, my friends, and he stopped his train of thought there, lest he shed more tears, but he couldn't help it. Erosenin, he believed in me. He genuinely believed that I would amount to something. Our blonde said as he let the tears flow. Would he approve of what I am doing? Kami, I miss you, Jiraiya-sensei. Wiping the tears from his face and compassing himself once more, Naruto got up and started walking back towards the camp, but was stopped by the Venus flytrap known as Zetsu. Naruto-sama, we have found Haiden's location, spoke Zetsu. Very good. Now, go back and bring me his ring. Not Haiden himself, Naruto-sama. No? He'd be too disruptive and too disobedient. With him being a Jashinist, he'd see my goal for true peace as an affront to his god, and would object with all his being. No, just bring me his ring and dispose of what remains of him. With pleasure, Naruto-sama. And with that, the fly trap of a man did his planned thing and sunk back into the ground. Continuing walking back to camp, Naruto froze when he saw Hinata still up and sitting by the fire that was lit. Shaking the feeling off, Naruto also sat next to the fire, beside Hinata. You should be sleeping, Hinata. I know I should, Naruto-kun, but I can't. What's on your mind? Well, stammered the Hyuga princess before continuing. I have questions. I'll answer what I can, said Naruto, with a smile that made Hinata blush. Well, since when do you use a katana? I thought it would help me out in the future. And it was true, yet a lie at the same time. Naruto-kun, please tell me the truth. Alright, you want the truth, then here it is, Hinata. I am the second sage of the 6 paths. With wide eyes, Hinata asked. What? After my battle with Pain, I ran away. I needed to clear my head, and in doing so, I accidentally found the tomb of the Rikido Sennin himself. Inside, I found his spirit. It seemed as if his spirit was waiting for me, because he knew who I was, and he knew I was there, even with me trying to avoid detection. He told me of everything that had happened in his lifetime, and he told me I was destined to change the world just as he did. Upon him finishing this story, he gave me what remained of his power, which was a considerable amount, and of which contained, well, the Rinnegan. He left me his power, his knowledge, his legacy, and his most prized weapon. This very katana, the Sennin no Tsurugi, the sage's blade. He told me that he trusted me and he left me with the task of fixing this world at any cost. So, you see, I am the second Rikido Sennin. Hinata had listened patiently, but when he got to the part where he was the true second Rikido Sennin, she was obviously stunned, as well as a bit skeptical. Naruto-kun, to validate this, may I see the Rinnegan? Sighing, Naruto closed his eyes and concentrated chakra to said area. Opening them, he stared Hinata straight into her eyes with a fully matured Rinnegan. Flashbacks of Pain resurfaced in her mind, as staring at Naruto with the Rinnegan he looked too much like Yahiko for his own good. And it didn't help that his hair was somehow taking on an orange color, which Hinata recognized as well. Noticing her focus switch to his hair, Naruto continued on. The reason my hair is turning orange is because when the Rikido Sennin transferred everything he had into me, it awakened my Uzumaki blood fully. Now, because of that, my hair was supposed to turn the traditional Uzumaki red, but, my father being who he was, it only took on a mix of red and yellow, orange, which was ironically, Yahiko's hair color. So if you're having flashbacks about fighting his diva path, then you know why. What does all of this mean, Naruto-kun? It means that I have a responsibility given to me by the forefather of all shinobi. It means that I can't disappoint the Rikido Sennin, who saw fit to make me his successor. I am this world's last best hope of peace, and if I fail then this world is beyond saving. And what does it mean about us? I can't get involved. Now, at least. I have too much to accomplish in just a short time span. I'm sorry, Hinata, but I can't say yes. I understand, Naruto-kun. I can wait. I'd like that. Just give me time, and I promise you, we will make this official. Arigato, Naruto-kun. No, thank you, Hinata-chan, for giving me this chance. He called me Hinata-chan Yada. Inner Hinata was screaming as the real Hinata had gotten that all too familiar tomato red blush on her face. Noticing this, Naruto laughed softly, then deactivated his Rinnegan. Go and get some sleep, Hinata. You're gonna need it. Chai, good night, Naruto-kun. Naruto had watched Hinata go into her tent, then shook his head free of any distractions, and settled into a sage-style meditation pose, the pose he strikes when meditating to absorb natural energy for sage mode. Konoha. Early next morning. So, not only has Naruto gone missing, but Kakashi and Yamato as well. This is turning out to be too troublesome. When Narashikaku yawned out, rubbing the back of his eid, as he had just woken up to the sight of an Anbu by his window. Hi, the council is troubled to say the least. Two of our best jounin and the hero of Konoha himself just up and disappear. Something's going on and the council wants to know what. The Anbu said. Yugao, I'll need your help in this investigation. Then you have me, Shikaku-san. Yugao said, now removing her mask. Gather your team and scout out the forest one more time. If you find nothing of interest, then come back and I'll report to the council personally. Hi. Anything else? Be careful. Yugao then disappeared to carry out her orders. Damn it, where'd you three go off to? Naruto's camp. A few miles away. Alright, now that everyone's up I have an announcement, said Naruto, addressing his recruits, who all snapped their attention to him. Conan and I were discussing the future of Akatsuki last night, and we reached this conclusion. Each and every one of you here needs more training until you're ready to be called Akatsuki. Therefore, you all are to turn in the rings I gave to you last night. And who are we to abdicate in favor of? Asked Mandu. You'll find out when we reach Omegakure. Now, Conan will collect your rings. Every one of the recruits there dejectedly gave in their rings to the angel of the Akatsuki, who, in turn, returned them to Naruto. Now, this doesn't mean you're out of the Akatsuki, it just means that you'll be receiving training to possibly succeed a member of my new Akatsuki, should something happen. Then we're officers. Asked Sakura. Hi everyone except for you, Konohamaru, because you need the most training out of everyone here. I don't mean to call you out here, but it's true. I know, and I don't mind. I'm content to wait. Good. Now, with that out of the way, we started Naruto, but turned his head towards one of the surrounding trees. I sense it too, Naruto-sama Conan said. Anbu, they found us. Seeing as they had been found out, the four Anbu had surrounded Naruto and his recruits. Yugao, even though she had her mask on, was still visibly shocked at seeing Naruto with an Akatsuki cloak on, as well as seeing him with orange hair. Izuki Yugao should have known Konoha would send one of their best to track me down. We were sent to track you, Kakashi and Yamato down. Naruto, little did we know that you had turned traitor, and had recruited some of our own. How low have you gone? Yugao asked with a hint of hurt in her voice. I'll go as high or as low as I need to, and I will not hesitate to kill you and your team if you interfere with us. Something tells me that even if we don't interfere with you, you'll still kill us. Because you have seen us. Quite a sharp mind you have there, Yugao, but I wonder, can you make music? What? Mandu teach her a tune or two. With pleasure, Naruto-sama, Mandu said with a sick smirk on his face as he stepped up to the female Anbu. Music lover? Yugao asked. Music enthusiast, Anbu-san. With those words, Mandu had disappeared at speeds even the Anbu couldn't track, the end result being Mandu's fist driven into Yugao's gut. Yugao, not expecting this, doubled over, spitting up blood and spitting up blood, making Mandu's smile whiten. Sweet music indeed soothes the soul, it does. The insane shinobi then delivered a devastating kick to her left temple, batting her away and knocking her out. Meanwhile, Naruto had killed the rest of the Anbu, thanks to Mandu's distraction. Retrieve our guests over there, please, Mandu. Hi. Doing as ordered, Mandu had slung Yugao over his shoulder and joined up in formation with everyone else, as they had begun to move in the direction of aim once again. Konoha. 3 days later. No, I don't know where they are, Danzu. Would I be here if I did? Shikaku asked rather snidely to Danzu, who was about to say something else, but was interrupted when Shizune came running in, followed by Tsunade, who had just woken up from her coma. Tsunade-sama, you. I'm really waking up, right? I've heard it all from Shizune, trust me. Then you know. I know that my godson, 2 of our best jounin and 1 of our best Anbu teams has gone missing. All this week I think it's the doing of Akatsuki. I had thought that myself, actually. But, we'll know for sure when the scout, Shikaku-sama. Tsunade-sama. Said Scout yelled, running into the council chambers. What is it? Asked Tsunade. Izuki Yugao's Anbu team is dead. We found their bodies not 5 minutes ago. Clearly shot, Tsunade continued. And Yugao herself. Missing, ma'am. No trace of her has been found yet, it's like she never even existed. Goddamn Akatsuki, Shikaku muttered. If they have captured Yugao, then they surely have Yamato, Kakashi, Naruto and the rest. I'll address this at the Gokage summit in a few days. For now, we all have to just calm down and take a breather. Worrying over this won't bring them back any sooner. Hi, Shikaku said, rubbing the back of his neck. Omegakure. 10 minutes later, Yugao slowly, but surely, was awakening. First thing she registered was the constant sound of rain, signaling to her that she was most likely in Omegakure. The second thing was that she had her own room and it was small, but comfortable nonetheless. Slowly sliding out of her bed, she noticed that she had been stripped of her armor and weapons, so she was sitting there with not on but some black panties and a black tank top. Though she was in Omegakure, it was quite warm in the building. Heaters, she had figured. Still keeping on guard, she walked to the door that separated her from the red of the building, and slowly opened it, on alert from any sneak attacks or traps. Nothing came. The quick venture down the hall had led her to a large balcony that looked out on the entire village. Who she saw sitting on the statue surprised her mildly, because of that damnable orange hair that looked way too much like Pain's. So, you're awake, are you, Yugao? Naruto's voice caught her off guard. Hi though, I didn't expect to wake up at all. Why did you spare me? Because it's wasteful to kill someone that could potentially aid you. Me? Aid the Akatsuki. How do you figure? Remember, Yugao. We have history. Smiling slightly at Naruto's statement, Yugao continued. History had that we do. Most would have called it a one-night stand, but that night we called it comfort na, Yugao-chan. High comfort. Now fully turning to face Yugao, she was surprised to see a single tear roll down Naruto's face. Yugao-chan had killed me inside to allow Mandu to do what he did, believe me. I just saw no way to get you away from your team without raising any red flags on our history together. Now, I implore you, Yugao-chan, please support me, support my plight. You know as well as I that the system doesn't work. And the Akatsuki is in need of new capable members. I offer you a place among us. Naruto-kun, I'm begging you here, Yugao-chan. I promise you I can make this world a better place. But to do that, I need people I can trust beside me. And I know for a fact that I can trust you. Alright, I accept. Thank you, Yugao-chan. I promise that you will not regret this. Here. Naruto then tossed the ring over to Yugao, who caught it. She recognized it as Deidara's ring. Slipping it on, she noticed Naruto had brushed by her, signaling her to follow as he did. He led her through a few more hallways before reaching a set of iron doors. Naruto opened both doors and led Yugao into the room, which was a huge armory that was packed with all sorts of weapons and armor. Pick what you want, then meet me back at the balcony. With those parting words, Naruto walked off to leave it, drooling Yugao to her perusing. A few minutes had passed and Naruto had spent them just listening to the rain fall, much like Nagato had done. Sensing Yugao behind him, he turned to see what she had picked. She had on a simple tight black short-sleeved combat top, black cargo pants, black Anbu sandals, a mid-sleeve steel mesh shirt, Jonin combat gloves, and a simple utility belt. She had also recovered her Konoha Hitai 8, which was tied to her forehead. But now, scratch your headband, spoke Naruto. Yugao complied and took off her headband, promptly scratched it, then replaced it back into place. And now, you cloak. To Yugao's surprise, Naruto had taken his off and gave it to her. At least she had a chance to see what he had on underneath the cloak. Naruto had on a black mid-sleeve combat top, underneath of which was a sleeveless steel mesh shirt, black cargo pants, black Anbu sandals with the white holders that were specific to the old Akatsuki, the weird white things that they wore over their footwear, a utility belt similar to Yugao's, black nail polish on his finger and toenails, a red crystal that sat tied to a necklace which was around his neck, and the standard shinobi equipment in all the standard places. Why did you give me yours, Naruto-kun? Because I'm having another one personally made for me, here in AIM. Now you have everything. Welcome to the Akatsuki, Yugao-chan. Glad to be a member, Naruto-kun. What? You're looking at me funny. Giggling sweetly, a trait that Yugao only showed to those she trusted implicitly, she leaned in, much to Naruto's surprise. By reflex, he leaned back, out of her reach. Please, Naruto-kun, I haven't felt your lips on mine for 2 years, now I need this. Please. Yugao. Naruto-kun, I'm the one begging you now. The world won't end, nor will your plan fall to shambles if you kiss me just this once. I need to feel your lips on mine, I need to feel your hands roaming over my body, I need to feel your love just once more. Yugao-chan. Naruto started, but Yugao used this to her advantage. She had slammed her lips into his, shocking Naruto to a degree. Now in firm control of his mind once again, he retaliated, deepening the kiss and biting at Yugao's lower lip, begging access. She all too happily let Naruto in, his tongue exploring every crevice of her mouth, and she moaning into the kiss, enjoying this new aggressive Naruto. He had backed her up against one of the walls, and had abandoned the heated makeout in favor for her neck. He kissed at one spot before lightly biting said spot, making Yugao let out a breathy moan. Her left hand had his orange locks in a vice grip, while his right hand was gripping her lower back, pulling her closer into what they both needed, though Naruto was more hesitant at admitting it. Leaving a few hickeys on her neck, Naruto again dove in for another makeout session. Yugao's moans echoed shamelessly through the hallways, and both were glad that they were the only ones in the temporary headquarters, or so they thought. Behind one of the corners stood Hinata, who had earlier heard talking, but when she arrived at the area, she spied Naruto and Yugao in a heated makeout session. Leaning against the wall for support, tears swelled up in her eyes, and for every tear that dropped, Yugao's moans heightened in sound and frequency. Dare she peek around the corner? She did dare, and what she saw sent her completely over the edge. No longer were Naruto and Yugao making out, but they had thrown everything aside and were now going all out, Yugao pinned against the wall, still kissing her lover with Naruto holding her by her lower back, pushing deeper into his former Konoha Anbu mistress. Just one word escaped her devastated mouth, not that Naruto and Yugao would hear her. No? A week and a half had passed since Hinata had discovered Naruto and Yugao in that hallway. Since then, both of them had decided to make their relationship official, after submerging from Yugao, who didn't want to spend another day without Naruto. Hinata had been completely devastated upon both discovering them, and then finding out from Naruto himself that they were together. Her nerves couldn't handle it, and she had fallen into a mild depression, which was alleviated slightly when Naruto had announced that their training was to commence soon. Still, the pain and memories were there, and they were a painful reminder to our Hyuga princess, that no matter how much you hope for something, you ultimately have to work for it. Currently, though, all of the recruits were confined to their quarters because of an Akatsuki meeting that had been called by Naruto. All of the remaining Akatsuki members, including Sasuke and Taka, were in attendance, and all were gathered in the room that connected to the balcony, where you'd normally find our Akatsuki leader, who was now standing in front of the Akatsuki, or rather, his projection, as he and Konan were using the Gentashin no Jutsu, magic lantern body technique. The reason I have called for this meeting is one of great importance. I am going to integrate Taka into the Akatsuki, and make each of them a full member. Naruto's Spectre said. Chen, I saw this coming. Actually, well, I don't know about the rest of my team, but I say what the hell. This new Akatsuki seems more beneficial to us than the last one, so I say yes to your proposal, Dobe. Sasuke said. If Sasuke-kun is joining, then so am I, Karen said. I'll agree to this. Might be fun. Sujetsu said. I agree to join this new Akatsuki. Jugo said. Then, you all already have your cloaks, then the last thing you'll need are your rings. Sasuke, you get Itachi's old ring. Karen, I see fit to give you Sasori's ring. Jugo, you shall receive Kakuzu's ring. And Sujetsu, Haiden's ring folds to you. As such, Sasuke, your partner is Kisame. Karen, you're with Yugao and Jugo and Sujetsu, you two are a team. And went our first operation. Right now. The Gokage Summit is going to take place in Tetsu no Kuni, Land of Iron, in a few minutes. Konan and I are as of now sitting a few yards away from the building, and are here to make Akatsuki's new motive known. Now, I have reasonable suspicion that the shinobi nations aren't going to let this new Akatsuki get away with the old Akatsuki's crimes, therefore they might try to attack us on sight, so I need everyone on standby, just in case something goes afoul with negotiations. And the recruits? What of them? Kisame queried. They are to have no part or knowledge of this. Well, Konan and I are gone, Kisame, you'll be in overall command in my stead. Got it. You all have your orders. We'll find out soon whether we're at war or not. Good luck in negotiations, then, Dobe. Sasuke said. Good luck working that stick out of your ass, team. Before Sasuke could rebut, the specters of Naruto and Konan flickered to nothingness. Land of Iron. Same time. Well, the Akatsuki is on alert, they know where we are, and I'm looking forward to seeing Tsunade's face. Naruto said, getting up from the sitting position required for the jutsu they used. Pay back to your village, Naruto-sama. Konan asked. Somewhat. Even though she was one of my precious people, she's the leader of one of our potential enemies. Therefore, just a bit of psychological warfare is needed. Never hurts to try, no. Precisely. Now, come on. The cages aren't gonna wait for us. The two senior Akatsuki members then walked from out of their hiding place and up to the front doors to the Gokage Summit meeting place, to be stopped by a full Kumo Anbu squad. Akatsuki. State your business or be gone before we resort to force. The Anbu captain present demanded. Deliver this message to Senju Tsunade, God Aim Hokage of Konohagakure. Pain has come. Naruto said, making the Kumo Anbu recoil a bit at the mention of pain. Then you're the Akatsuki leader. The new one, yes. Now, please, deliver the message. My comrade and I will wait patiently for a reply. Inside the meeting room. Alright, thank you. A said before dismissing the Anbu that had reported in, then addressed his fellow Kage. Well, this is quite unexpected. My Anbu at the front gates have reported that two Akatsuki, reportedly the leader and his second in command, have come with a message for you, Tsunade Dono. For me specifically. What's the message? That, and I quote, pain has come. Upon the word pain, Tsunade's eyes widened in immense surprise, and a cold sweat covered her skin. Pain, he's alive. Even after Naruto killed him. Was he really telling the truth when he said that he was Kami? Tsunade Dono, please calm yourself. If Pain is indeed still alive, no doubt he's either come to negotiate peace with us, seeing as he almost died during his fight with Naruto, or he's come to finish his job. If the latter is true, he has to take on everyone in this room to get to you, and if the former is true, then I say we at least listen to him. Came the wise voice of Gar. And I want to see the face of the one who invaded Konoha in the first place, and then crush it in if negotiations fail. They said. Then please, send the Akatsuki. Gaara ordered the Anbu in one of the corners of the room, who bowed and disappeared. Pain, how in the world? Rest assured, Tsunade Dono, we will not let anything happen to one of our fellow Kages. At least not when there's not a war going on. Inoki said from his seat. The door opened and everyone turned their attention to it, especially Tsunade, who was sweating bullets. In stepped Naruto and Konan, though when Tsunade saw the spiky orange hair, she immediately had a flashback of the pain invasion. Such arrogance. I want you to feel pain, to think about pain, to accept pain, to know pain. Those words from pain rang in her ears the entire time. Only when she saw the whisker marks on his cheeks did she now recognize pain. Naruto, why? Tsunade had asked in a weak voice. Truly, she was shocked, as were everyone else in the room. Naruto had on a custom-made Akatsuki cloak that was something like Nagato's Diva Path's, but the collar was a little bit longer. His Konoha hit I-8 sat on his forehead and was scratched, and he had a neutral look on his face upon entering the room. Taking one of the empty seats, Naruto opened the meeting. So I think you all here know who I am. I am Uzumaki Naruto, former genin of Konohagakure. Now, I have taken up both the mantle of Akatsuki leader and the name of Pain. I, and my second-in-command, Konan, are here to negotiate with the shinobi nations. And just why would we negotiate with you terrorists? They asked. Because, since I have taken control of Akatsuki, we are no longer after neither the Jinchuriki or the Biju. Our goal now is true peace in this world. True peace, you say? The thought in and of itself is ridiculous. There has and never will be true peace in this world. Inoki said. Please, Inoki Dono, allow Naruto Dono to continue. Mei said. And why do you refer to him as an equal to us, Mei Dono? He's just a terrorist. Ei interjected. Because I am unprejudiced against this new Akatsuki. True that the old Akatsuki has done everyone here wrong, including their new leader. I assume you're still the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Naruto Dono. After a positive nod from Naruto, she continued. You see? A Jinchuriki is leading them. That says they're not after the Biju anymore, which also means that what Naruto Dono says is true. He really wants peace. Both between us all here and the world. If we are to vote, I already where mine is going. Mine as well. I have known Naruto for a long time, and he has literally saved my life. He is one of my most precious people and one of the only people I call family. Like Mei Dono stated, my vote goes with Akatsuki if we are to hold a vote. Well, the Akatsuki did attack my brother, but they failed in extracting the Hachibi because of his Kawarimi, body replacement ace started. An order given to one of my agents by the last leader Tobi. I have since then killed Tobi and rescinded the order to capture the Biju. As you can see, I wish no harm towards the shinobi nations. All I wish for is backing and support for my goal. Naruto clarified. Chen. Just as long as you hold true to this, then I agree. I, however, detest you, Uzumaki, or should I call you Namikaze? Inoki said, raising a few eyebrows and making Naruto sit back in his chair and link his hands in front of his mouth, as if contemplating something. Your father caused an untold amount of damage and humiliation to Iwagakure during the last war. So much so that I detest him with every fiber of my being. That hatred has been passed down to you, his progeny. I will have no part in recognizing this new Akatsuki, nor will I accept that this brat. Take care, Inoki, you're treading on very thin ice right now. I wouldn't say anything else if I were you. You have made your point and you have expressed your opinions. I wish not to fight anyone this day, but if you continue on with your sentence, then I shall defend my father's honor, no matter the outcome, and if you thought my father was bad, then you clearly don't know me as well as you, should Naruto said with shadowed eyes. Well, I guess I could reconsider. Given that we all here are weak after the past Akatsuki's crusade, we'll need all the allies we can get. And the son of Namikaze Minato would make a fine ally indeed. I say yes to supporting your plight, Naruto Dono. And Tsunade Dono? Naruto asked, turning his gaze towards his godmother. Konoha Tsunade started, then remembered the day of Pain's attack. Shinra Tensei. Konoha will not support this new Akatsuki. You will not be able to convince me otherwise on this foolish endeavor. True peace is not possible, no matter what anyone does. Clearly you're delusional, Naruto. Come back to Konoha and I'll get you some help and forego the charges being brought against you. I cannot do that, Tsunade Dono. I have been given this mission by powers that you cannot begin to comprehend. Plus, this was Jiraiya-sensei's dream. Jiraiya's dream? Is this what this is about? Naruto, Jiraiya might have wanted true peace, but the way you're going about it is completely against what he would have wanted. He'd be disappointed in you, knowing that you have joined the very people who not a week ago destroyed your home village and killed him. No matter how you reason, what you're doing is farthest away from what Jiraiya wanted for you. Please, Nair. Before Tsunade could finish, Naruto had stood up from his seat, slammed his hands on the table and looked her straight in the eyes, Rinnegan blazing. You know nothing. Who are you to presume what sensei would have wanted? Who are you to presume you know me or my intentions? You claim yourself wise when you're not. You claim to know sensei when you never did have the pleasure. You claim to know me when you don't. You, Senju Tsunade, are the living incarnation of delusion. I curse the day sensei and I brought you back to Konoha. I curse the day we saved you from Orochimaru. Truly, if it weren't for you, then sensei would still be alive. He would be Hokage, and you would have taken his place at the bottom of the ocean surrounding Ain. I curse you from the bottom of my very soul, Senju. All throughout Naruto's speech, the temperature in the room had declined by several degrees, and everyone could feel the presence of Naruto's killing intent, even though the brunt of it was focused at Tsunade herself, who didn't see Naruto in front of her. Rather, she saw Pain reborn. It was as if Pain really was standing before her once again, cursing her to the high heavens, and not hiding the blatant hatred that he carried. Naruto truly was the new Pain, complete with the Rinnegan, which everyone in the room, save for Konan, was wondering where he got it. Come, Konan, our business is done. To everyone except for Senju over there, I am glad that you all saw reason and I look forward to working with you all, and to you, Senju, you will regret this day. This I promise you. And with that, Naruto turned on his heel to leave, only to be stopped by Tsunade's voice. Wait. Uzumaki Naruto, as Hokage of Konoha, I am officially declaring you an S-rank Nukenin. When you leave this building, we'll put you in our bingo books. Not us, Tsunade Dono, just you. As of now, I, Sabaku no Gar, Godin Kazuki of Sunagakur, am ending the alliance with Konoha. I instead pledge an alliance to Uzumaki Naruto of the Akatsuki, and the 6th great shinobi nation of Omegakure. Gar said, surprising everyone, even Naruto, who wasn't expecting that AIM was now a candidate for the 6th great shinobi nation. I second this movement, and I, as well, pledge an alliance with Uzumaki Naruto of Akatsuki. Mei said. I third the notion. Ei said. As do I, Inoki said. I deny this notion with every fiber in my body. Tsunade said. Too bad, it's a majority vote. Uzumaki Naruto, your nation of Omegakure is officially recognized as the 6th great shinobi nation, and your nation is now an ally of both Suna and Kiri. And you, yourself, now have an official seat here on the Cade Summit as the Shade Mimikage, First Reign Shadow. Gar said. I don't know everyone, thank you for this extreme honor. I accept this new position and these alliances. I promise that I will not let any of you down. Naruto said, bowing out of gratitude. No? I refuse to accept this. I'll put an end to your madness before it can begin. Tsunade yelled, charging at Naruto. Konan recognized the look in Naruto's eye, and knew that she had to get the rest of the cages out of the way. Everyone, please, get down. She yelled to all in the room, who had already known what was coming and had gotten out of the way just in time. Naruto had held his right hand up to Tsunade, who was already in a full headlong charge, and couldn't stop herself in time. So, she braced herself as best she could, but it was for naught, because the attack she was expecting never came. Instead, Bancho Tenin yelled our Akatsuki leader, drawing Tsunade in with set technique. She was speeding towards Naruto at breakneck speeds. Suddenly, she indeed regret making an enemy of Naruto. And if she had any other doubts about this, they were all put to rest when she felt something hit her left temple. Hard. Naruto had used the energy from using the Bancho Tenin to his advantage, and had sent a hard haymaker into her left temple, that damn near broke her neck because of the backlash. She might have gotten out of it with just a headache had she not been sent flying back into the wall, which gave her a bad concussion. Konoha Anbu had seen the entire thing, and had come out of hiding to attack Naruto, only to be stopped by Gar, who had trapped both of them with his sand. Konoha looks bad enough as it is, with your Hokage attacking the newest among the cages here. Don't add to it and don't start a war today. Collect her and return to Konoha in shame, knowing that your actions, as well as those of your leader, almost stared the 4th great shinobi war. Utterly scared to death of Gar, who they had only heard stories about, they both nodded fervorously, collected a groaning Tsune, and disappeared with their figurative tails tucked in between their legs. Well, this meeting has been eventful. Ei muttered. And don't worry, Naruto Dono. As much as I hate your father, I hate Konoha even more, being that he was a Konoha shinobi. With that in mind, I also pledge an alliance with AIM at the Akatsuki. Inuki said. Thank you, Inoki Dono, and thank you everyone for the support. The time may come in the future when I may indeed need these alliances, and until then, I promise on my new role as a Mikage, I will not squander your generosity. Naruto said, now deactivating the Rinnegan. Well, meeting adjourned. Mei asked. Hi Dono, please see to our new comrade here. Inoki said as he started to float away, followed by Ei and Mei, who winked at Naruto on her way out. Is she just? Naruto began. Yeah. Gar said with a facepalm, then continued. That's how Mei is, unfortunately. She's no doubt eye candy, but that's one of her advantages. She's deadly and don't you think otherwise. Never crossed my mind though I do have my own femme fatale. After motioning to Konan, who was leaning against the doorway, Naruto continued. Mei might be strong, but I have every faith that Konan is stronger. I sense a hint of admiration in your voice, Naruto, or is that adoration? Shut up. Call me Naruto, do you actually L? I swear, Gar, finish your sentence. Then my suspicions are correct, it seems. Naruto sighed at the triumphant smirk on Gar's face, and finally relented. Hi, I do. I can't help but feel bad about it, though. Why? Because I'm with Yuga already. The girl that was the lover of the swordsman that Baki-sensei killed during the Oto-Suna invasion. Yeah, she's the one. I thought that it was love that pulled us together, but now I realize that it's physical contact that has driven these mistaken feelings of love into our hearts. Gar, what can I do here? Be patient, Naruto. Bide your time. You'll know when the right moment to let Konan know how you feel is. And as for Yuga, be honest with her. Explain things to her like you did me and she'll surely understand. And since when do you know so much about women? I have an older sister that, and I finally took Mitsuri out on a date. And, well, she's content as my girlfriend for the moment. Congratulations. Arigato. Now, shouldn't you be on your way back to AIM by this point? Shouldn't you be on your way back to Suna? Touché, my friend. Anything else I should know? Konoha is on to you now, that much is obvious. But all of the alliances with AIM should give Tsunade pause when she wakes up. Also, there's the fact that you have the Rinnegan and can probably use it better than Pain did. Despite that, you should be wary of Tsunade and Konoha in the future, should you have to negotiate with them. Got it. And I must be taking my leave now. Aim and Akatsuki needs to hear this news. I understand. After shaking Naruto's hand, Gaara added. Naruto, be careful. Aren't I always? And with that, Naruto walked out, Konan following suit. I was afraid you'd say that. Outside Tetsunokuni's borders. 15 minutes later, they actually recognized us well, a majority, anyway, but AIM's a great shinobi nation now. Yelled Naruto in a fit of joy that was rarely afforded to him. Konan, despite her stoic reputation, only showed her true side to the one she called leader, and in this case, Naruto. She giggled, yes, giggled at her leader's sudden 180 from pissed to excited. That should help the process, no? Our Akatsuki angel asked. Hi. And I'm thinking that now that AIM is a great shinobi nation, maybe I should replace my old Konoha hit I-8 with an AIM hit I-8. Well, me and everyone else in the Akatsuki and the recruits that aren't from AIM. You're the leader, not me, Naruto-sama. You can do whatever you want, though I still want your input. I value your opinion highly, Konan. You should know this. And here I thought you kept me around for my looks. Glancing to her left, she again giggled at a flustered and blushing Naruto, and looked at him with nothing less than admiration in her eyes. Truly, how could this one boy bring up emotions that she thought had died the day Yuhiko had died? True that Yuhiko had a special place in her heart, but Naruto. There was something about him that even Yuhiko didn't have. Konan didn't know what it was yet, but she was content to the mystery of it, and she was content to staying beside Naruto until the day her last breath left her body. Naruto Konan's soft voice brought Naruto's full attention to her. Promise me that I won't lose you like I did Yuhiko and Nagato. Konan. Naruto, please promise me. You're the third person that I have soared my life to, with the last two being dead. I don't want to lose you as well. Now stopping and putting both of his hands on Konan's shoulders, Naruto spoke. I promise you on my life that I will survive this. Don't worry, Konan. I've inherited Nagato's wish, Yuhiko's determination and the will of both to protect you. I will not fail in this endeavor. Even if I should fail to bring peace to this world, I will protect you until the day I die. Konan, you're special to me. More than you think. And going on one day in this world without you by my side is a worse fate than death to me. Naruto. I don't want to lose you, Konan. I will not lose you. Naruto Arigato. Omegakure. Akatsuki's tower. Glancing around, making sure that she was clear, Yugao had made her way deep into the tower and into the section that all Akatsuki were restricted to, save for Naruto and Konan. Slowly making her way through them, she came to the room she had assumed was used to house Nagato's paths, and was supremely shocked to see Kakashi and Yamato's corpses in the compartments that were labeled Diva and Animal respectively. Their eyes were open, which revealed their Rinnegan, and they had scratched Konoha hit I-8, as well as the regular Akatsuki uniform, plus the chakra receivers scattered around their body. Yugao, having momentarily forgotten the Rinnegan's linked vision because of shock, had roamed into Kakashi's field of vision. Immediately, what Kakashi saw went directly to Naruto. With Naruto. What is it, Naruto-sama? Konan asked. Yugao, she's found Kakashi and Yamato. Damn it, I knew something was off about her. She's proven herself a traitor. I know and I will react accordingly. With Yugao, Yamato had suddenly weaved the hand seals necessary, too quick for Yugao to react. Slamming his hand down onto the floor, he exclaimed, Kuchi's no jutsu. Summoning technique. A thick plume of white smoke filled the room, and Naruto came walking swiftly out of the smoke, grabbed Yugao by the throat, picked her up, and slammed her hard against the far wall of the room. Konan, Yamato and Kakashi had taken up positions behind him. Why? Why do you betray me so? Did I not trust you? Yelled Naruto in fury. You did, but your trust was misplaced, Yugao choked out. You bitch, I thought I could actually trust you. Shows what I get for trusting a Konoha Anbu, who will use any means to get information, even her body. Bingo. Izuki Yugao, you will make a fine addition to my paths. Maybe I'll have you be the new pre-top path. You don't have the chakra receiver to the heart had permanently silenced Yugao, who died with a defiant look in her eyes. Naruto broke off most of the chakra receiver, then walked away with the first of the many receivers being planted. His last words to Konan before walking completely out of the room were, gather the Akatsuki. The meeting was more or less to inform the Akatsuki about the results of the Cage Summit, and to inform them that Yugao was a traitor, a spy for Konoha. The consensus Naruto had asked for was who was to replace her, and there was a unanimous vote to make Mandu her successor, since Mandu needed the least amount of training than the other recruits. So, Mandu had been inducted into the Akatsuki as a full member, and had been put in charge of the recruits' training. The meeting had been short and to the point, and Naruto had sent everyone back to their posts after. Currently, our Akatsuki leader was doing his normal thing and just sitting, listening to the rain fall. Out of nowhere Naruto smirked, as if something he had speculated had come true. Omegakure front gates. Same time. Halt, Konoha-nin. State your business here. An AIM Jounin said, confronting the three Konoha-nin, who seemed to be guarding a TV crew. We're protecting this television crew. It was a mission given to us by one of Hino Kuni's, Land of Fire's, clients. They wish to interview the news to the cages, your leader and one of my friends, Uzumaki Naruto. The leader of the group said. Pain-sama will not see anyone from Konoha at the moment. So Naruto is going by the name Pain now. I had hoped the rumors were false. Please leave, Konoha-nin. We will not allow you through. Let me talk to one of the Akatsuki, please. Eichen Kisame-sama. And out of the guardhouse stepped the ever-so-intimidating Hoshigaki Kisame and his new partner, Uchiha Sasuke. So, the Freaky Guys team is here, eh? You three put up a relatively good fight against me. Kisame said, referring to Niji, Lee and Tenten, the previously spoken of Konoha-nin. Hoshigaki Kisame, huh? Fate seems to draw you and us together at the most inopportune times. Niji said calmly. It's been a long time, Niji. Last I heard of you, you had been promoted to Jounin. I'd say congratulations, but I'm no longer loyal to Konoha. My loyalties lie with Akatsuki and Naruto now. Sasuke said. Sasuke figures a traitor like you joined the Akatsuki. Figures that a Hyuga would still remain loyal to Konoha, well, most of them, anyway. Hinata-sama's here. As she's with the Akatsuki as well. It's not my place to say, not that I would say anything anyway. In case you haven't noticed, Konoha and AIM aren't on that good of terms, thanks to that whore you call Hokage. Don't speak of Tsunade-sama like that, traitor. Yelled Tenten. I wonder if you would call the Doba traitor as well, being he was the de facto leader of the Konoha 12. In fact, you can't call any of us traitors because we belong to Omegakure, the 6th grade shinobi nation now. Calm down, Tenten. I see Sasuke has an Omegakure hit I-8 on now, so he speaks the truth. And we didn't come here to argue. All our mission entailed was that we escort this TV crew to and from AIM. Will you let us through? Niji asked. Yes, you may, Niji. Came the voice of Naruto through Kakashi's body, as he walked up to the group, flanked by Yamato and Yugao. Kakashi, Yamato, Yugao, you three fell also. And you're now his paths. Please, don't keep me waiting, Niji. I'll allow you and only you through. The TV crew, Lee and Tenten, are to wait at the gates. Understood. Lee, Tenten, you heard him. Stay here with the TV crew. Protested Tenten. I'll be fine, Tenten. Now, stay here. Akatsuki Tower. A few minutes later. Good of you to come, Niji. Naruto said as he turned to face his old comrade. Why did you want to see me alone, Naruto? Because I know the hidden agenda behind your mission. You were sent here to spy on me, it can't get any more obvious. A TV crew. Maybe that concussion hurt Tsunade more than I thought. As much as I want to deny it, we were indeed sent to spy on you. And I was disgusted when Tsunade sent us to spy on the newest of the great nations over nothing but a disagreement between her and you. Then, let us talk not as Kage and Jounin, rather friends. Can you do that? Hi, I'll put my loyalties aside for a few moments at least. I'll be frank with you, Naruto, I hate what Konoha has become since Pain's invasion. I know that you've taken up that very name, but I also know that you have a reason for resorting to joining the Akatsuki. I also believe that you really mean that you want peace for this world and among the great nations. Let me guess, you want out. Precisely. I don't want to spy on an old friend, and I can't return to Konoha without intel. I believe you, Niji. I made the mistake of believing Yugao, but with my paths with me this time, I have verified that you're telling the truth. So, that's why you ordered your paths to state confirmation that I wasn't lying through the usage of the linked vision of the Rinnegan. Very good. And how would you like to become my human path? Wouldn't I need to die in order for that to happen? Unfortunately, yes. But you said once before that the branch house of the Hyuga clan were sworn to protect the main branch. What's your point? Hinata died during training. It was an accident. She had exhausted herself while sparring with me, and she used up all her chakra. She went into chakra exhaustion, but still continued to fight me, denying that she had no chakra. Eventually, she just collapsed. She died in my arms. Hinata-sama. I'm sorry, Niji, I really am. Then I have failed my mandate. I failed Hiyashi-sama. Naruto-kun, Mandu sent me to tell you, Hinata began as she walked in, then spied Niji. Nai-san. Hinata-sama. God damn it. Hinata. Get back. At Naruto's voice, Yugao had jumped in front of Hinata and had taken her away. You have fallen very low, Naruto. Niji said, seething. It would have been easier this way, Niji. Easy how? Both AIM and the Akatsuki are sorely underprepared. We need strength, money, land and influence. As a matter of fact, Kusagakure, Ishigakure and Tanigakure should be surrendering to us very shortly, as their economies have collapsed, and they have no sizable military force. Of course, I arranged accidents to occur just when I needed them to. A country getting raised to the level of the great shinobi nations is a big thing. It can affect other nations in many ways. In this case, these three nations are along our borders, therefore one of the great shinobi nations now link three of the other great nations, while leaving no middle ground for the others. Kusa, Tani and Ishii will fall to us this day, and it will seem to the world that AIM never even lifted a finger. And by taking you out of the picture, I gain another path while Konoha loses their best scout. You son of a bitch. Come, now, Niji. You should know by now that I will do anything to get to my goals. My ultimate goal may be peace, but that doesn't mean I won't stir the pot every once in a while. At that point, Naruto turned to stare out at his village, leaving his back turned to Niji. Said person took one hastened step forward, intent to try and beat Naruto's path's reflexes, but was unsuccessful. He had taken a chakra receiver to the heart and another to the lungs. Over the rain, Naruto's laugh could be heard. Hahe, goodbye Hyuga Neji. You have served your intended purpose. Should I go and collect his team, Naruto-sama? Konan asked as she walked in. Hi. And take Kakashi and Yamato with you. Hi. Omegakure. Front gates. Same time. What Kisame had just heard over the radio thrilled him to no end, and his all too familiar maniacal smile spread across his face as he reached for Samehada. Looks like your teammate will not be returning to Konoha, and neither will you. He yelled to the remaining Konohanin. What happened to Neji? Tenten asked rather forcefully, considering her and Lee's predicament. He attacked Naruto-sama Dumbus for trying to kill him in the middle of his own country, if you ask me. Now, Naruto-sama has ordered your detainment on charges of espionage and aiding a now dead fugitive. Neji no. So, Lee, seeing as you're the most competent of you all here, I ask you. Will you surrender without a fight, or will we have to force the issue? Sasuke asked, reaching for his kusanagi. We have no choice but to surrender peacefully. We're completely surrounded and it will be for the best if we go quietly. But choice. Ah, Konan. Fugitives secure. Kisame said. But work, Kisame, Sasuke. Konohanin, surrender your arms and armor and anything else in between. You are now prisoners of Omegakure. We'll be sure to let Konoha and the world know of this treachery. Where will you be taking us? Lee asked. To Naruto-sama himself. Akatsuki Tower. 10 minutes later, Lee and Tenten had been stripped of everything they had, save for their clothes, and had been dragged through the village. People gathered the streets and shouted their disgust for the two Konohanin. The verbal assault had been silenced when they finally reached the Akatsuki Tower, and the only sounds they had heard from that point on was the constant rain and their footsteps that echoed throughout the halls. Finally, there reached Naruto's balcony, and there said person stood, always vigilant. So Lee and Tenten are first meeting after the Pain invasion, and you have committed such a foul and cowardly act against a nation that has yet to stand on its own 2 feet, among the superpowers we call the Great Shinobi Nations. Why? Asked Naruto, still looking out to his village. We were ordered to. Lee said. Yet orders can be ignored. Tsunade had gambled on your team not getting caught, but alas, she is still the legendary sucker. You two are treading the line between imprisonment and execution, as espionage warrants a severe punishment if caught, which puts me in a precarious position, and said position leaves me wondering, what shall I do with you two? We were the ones that got caught, our lives are in your hands, Amikage-sama. Referring to me as my title, and not my name now, are we? Lee? Very well. Konan, I have made up my mind. What are your orders? Asked Konan. Send a message to our allies detailing what Konoha has done, and ask for support should this spill over into war. And send a message to Konoha saying that their spies have been captured and that one attacked me, resulting in his death. Detail these reparations for this atrocity. The Tanzaku quarters, and all land west of it, are to be handed over to us in exchange for these spies. Hi. I'll deliver them at once. Konan then took her leave, and Naruto finally turned to look at his two captives. I admit, it does cause me some pain to use my former friends as bargaining chips, but this comes with being a cage. Upon my honor, I swear that I will return both of you to Konoha should they want you back. No harm shall come to you both while you are within my nation, this I promise. You're too kind, Amikage-sama. Lee said. Lee, please, I'm still Naruto to you and Tenten. Kiss him, take Lee and show him to a good hotel, all expenses paid. And what of the girl, Naruto-sama? Kisame asked. I sense that Tenten has a few words for me. Everyone out, so that she and I may have a private conversation. At Naruto's orders, everyone had cleared the room, and Kisame escorted Lee out. Naruto himself turned to look out his balcony once again, letting Tenten gather her words. Why? Tenten asked. Neji attacked me, Ten-chan. Even you should know that I was just. Don't refer to me by that title, Naruto. We only dated for 3 days, we were trying to see if it could work. Obviously we didn't work out. Force of habit, I suppose. I apologize. But Neji attacked me and I reacted accordingly. You cannot fault me for that. But still it was Neji, your lover. I know I even know something you don't. What might that be? Tenten, my Rinnegan can see chakra much like the Byakugan and Sharingan. Looking upon you with my Rinnegan, I saw something. What something? Tenten, you're pregnant. What? You heard me, you're pregnant with Niji's child. I am pregnant. But, nothing escapes these eyes of mine, Tenten. How far am I? Judging by the size of its chakra signature, at least 2.5 months. And I can already tell you that you have a daughter on the way. A daughter. Neji and I, we never thought about children. But it seems that he has left me a parting gift. Tenten, let me pose a question to you. Do you think that your daughter will be raised better in Konoha, or here, in AIM? What are you? Think about it. Neji was a part of the branch house of the Hyuga clan, therefore your daughter, if raised in Konoha, will be forced into the branch house as well. She will be taken from you and raised by the Hyuga just because of her eyes, whilst here, she will be raised with you, and will still have training on how to use the Taijutsu effectively from both Sasuke and I. If I stay, then Lee has to stay as well. I'll see if Lee wants to stay. But for now, welcome to Omegaker. You may be a chunin in Konoha, but I'm making you a name jounin, should you accept. Hi arigato, Naruto-sama. I'm still Naruto to you, Tenten. Sasuke. Hi? Asked Sasuke as he entered. Set Tenten up with a room here, in the tower, and set her up with the name hit I8. Got it. Tenten, if you will follow me. Hi Tenten said and followed Sasuke out, but stopped herself. Naruto really, thank you for this. I want the best for my daughter, and I somehow knew the moment you said I was pregnant that I could never hand her over to the Hyuga. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. That said, she followed Sasuke out once again. You're welcome Tenten. Muttered Naruto as he again went to listen to the rain. Konoha. 4 days later, Tsunade was absolutely livid. The 2 letters she held in her hands, one detailing what had happened and the reparations for the failed spy attempts, the other detailing that Lee and Tenten wished to stay in AIM, both becoming AIM jounin, and also detailing that Tenten was pregnant and she didn't wish her daughter to be raised like Niji had. She had also received 3 letters from Suna, Kari and Iwa, urging Tsunade to comply with the reparation demands, saying that they were reasonable, considering the spies she would be getting back. Can I not win a victory against him? Tsunade yelled in frustration, throwing the letters back onto her desk and standing up with a huff. Shizune. Entering rather quickly, the young raven-haired Kunoichi answered. Hi, Tsunade-sama. Send this message to Omegaker. Konoha shall submit all land requested by the reparation papers. Tenzakukai and all land west are to be handed over to them in return for the people captured, including or not including Lee and Tenten, should they wish to return. We're finally ready to try diplomacy with Naruto-kun. Hi for now, at least. Send a trade agreement along with the land rights. At once. Shizune bowed, then exited to write up the letters. Konoha's looking more and more the villain every day. Naruto, why are you doing this? Omegaker. Same time. So, Ishii, Kusa and Tani have indeed surrendered to us, and the land has been absorbed into AIM. Plus the fact that Konoha will more than likely bend to our reparation requests, we'll have tripled AIM in size. 3 hidden villages and 1 trade village will have fallen under our control. I say we're well on our way to becoming a true great shinobi nation. Naruto said, addressing the 4 people in Akatsuki he trusted the most. Konan, Sasuke, Mandu and Kisame. And our 2 new guests have taken well to life as AIM jounin. As per your orders, both have been watched closely, and no traitorous actions have been witnessed by our Anbu. Add to the fact that you have checked both out with your Rinnegan, they're both clean. Sasuke said. And I've also heard that you and Sakura are now together. Sasuke looks like even you can score. Says the one with no girlfriend. Says the one that has a duck's ass for hair. Dope. Team. Naruto-sama, there is still the issue of the recruits training. Konan said. I know the training is progressing nicely. All of them are at least up to A rank by now. Not S rank, but better than they were, that's for sure. I'd say that they're able to take on all but the most experienced shinobi any nation could throw at us, but they're still not ready to be called Akatsuki quite yet. Mandu said. And how did Hinata react upon learning that Niji had attacked me? Naruto asked. She's quite shaken. I'd not let her see Niji as one of your paths anytime soon, Naruto-sama. Noted. Now, I want trade routes up, running, and under watch by the end of the week. We need more money coming in. Also, set up shinobi academies in Kusa, Ishii and Tani, so as to boost our military. And I think Taki is in need of an accident, much like the ones that befell Kusa, Ishii and Tani. Can we orchestrate that successfully? I'll send in one of my people. Sasuke said. Then it is a miracle that you inherited a Tagakur from Orochimaru, Sasuke. Truly, Odo has been a most useful tool. That's the only thing I appreciate Orochimaru for. We all have our orders, we should carry them out. I call this meeting to dismissal. Konan said, making all there, save for Naruto, nod and file loud. I love it when you take charge like that, Ko-chan. Naruto said, turning to the blue-haired angel beside him. Giggling, Konan responded. You seem to do a good job at it, so I thought I should give it a try. I hope our date for tonight is still on. It is, believe me. Learning of our mutual feelings has, I have to admit, put me at ease. But, I don't want to just jump into it. I told you yesterday, I understood. I want to see how things work out as well. Because of you, Gao, right? Hi, I've learned my lesson, though. But for now, I have a job for you, Konan. And what might that be? Take it easy until tonight. Kisame can take care of everything for us. Are you sure? Very sure. I'm giving you the day off to do whatever you want. Arigato, Naruto. Later that day. Around 7:30 p.m. Like Naruto had said, Kisame handled everything that came up with surprising efficiency, which took a hell of a load off of our Akatsuki leader. When he gave Konan the day off, she literally disappeared, was never seen by anyone. Naruto equated it to spending the entire day shopping and trying to freshen herself up for their date. Currently, Naruto was standing in front of a mirror that hung from the door of his personal quarters in the tower. He had on some black dress pants, a black dress shirt, a black dress vest, a red tie and a black dress coat with some black dress shoes. Sasuke stood behind him and he had on almost the same thing as Naruto, but the dress shirt was white, the tie was black, and he didn't have a vest. Sakura had come to Naruto at one point during the day, and had asked if it would be okay if she and Sasuke went with him and Konan on their date, effectively making it a double date, and Naruto agreed. Our Akatsuki leader let out a hesitant breath before turning to Sasuke. Do you think she'll like what I'm wearing, Sasuke? Is it too flashy, too plain? It's just right, Naruto. Stop worrying yourself. Sorry, it's just that the last girl I took out on an actual date was Tenten. Konan's on a whole other level than her. Just be yourself. Konan respects you a lot, Naruto. Don't ruin that by trying to kiss up to her tonight. Thanks, Sasuke. You ready to go? Hi, let's do this. And so the two set out, on their way to Konan's quarters. With Konan and Sakura, Konan was also standing in front of a mirror, taking in her appearance. She had on a black shoulder-less dress that had a slit going down the right leg, black heels, a dark blue corset atop the torso of the dress that accentuated her already ample breasts, a silver necklace, a silver bracelet on her right wrist, and some silver earrings. Sakura had on a black backless dress that stopped 3.5 inches below her knees, black heels, black party gloves that stopped about her mid-forearm, a gold necklace and some gold earrings. Much like her date, Konan was nervous. Konan, you're all tense, loosen up a little. Sakura said as she finished fixing her hair. Will he think I look good, Sakura? You've known Naruto for a long time, and he's often referred to you as his Inato, little sister. What do you think he'll think of me? Knowing Naruto, he'll be blown away. Take it from me, Konan, you look good. And, besides, Naruto's not the type to judge based solely on appearances. Thanks, Sakura. Anytime. There was then a knock at the door. Looks like they're here. Sakura went to open it, and, sure enough, there stood Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke-kun, Naruto-kun, you both wow. You both clean up nice. You look good as well, Sakura-chan. Sasuke said. Is Konan ready? Asked Naruto. Hi. Konan, come on. At Sakura's call, Konan came walking out also, and at her appearance, Naruto was absolutely floored, and even Sasuke was taken aback by the beauty standing in front of them. KK Konan, you look absolutely stunning. Naruto managed to stammer out. Arigato, Naruto said Konan in a very Hinata-like manner, making Sasuke and Sakura laugh slightly at the irony surrounding their second in command. Shall we? Sakura suggested. Hi, we shall. Naruto said, offering Konan his arm, to which she immediately took. Sakura also took Sasuke's arm, and the four went out to begin their date. As fate would have it, today was one of the rare days where the rain had stopped, and it was currently a clear night sky in AIM, making the mood of the date that much more impressionable for all parties involved. The stars were out and the full moon hung in the sky, much to Konan's pleasure. Smiling at the sight, she couldn't help but hug Naruto's arm closer to her, and had laid her head on his right shoulder, making Sasuke and Sakura eye the couple knowingly. It's been way too long since the rain has stopped. I haven't seen the sky like that in a long time. Konan remarked, not daring to leave Naruto's warmth. Maybe it's a sign. Sasuke said. I sure hope so, Sakura said. It is. We'll surely be successful in our mandate. But tonight is not a night for Akatsuki business, tonight is for us. Naruto said, making everyone there smile, because they now knew there was another side to Peen. Now coming upon the restaurant that they had chosen, Naruto and Konan took the let and, upon seeing Naruto, the manager of the restaurant, had let them in for no charge, and gave them a booth at the far side of the establishment. Content to wait for their food to be brought, the four engaged in some small talk to pass the time. So, Konan, I have to admit, I don't know as much about you as I should. Sakura said. Well, I was born and raised here, in AIM. My parents were killed during the Second Great World War, and sometime after, I met Yuhiko and Nagato. We formed our own little group and we helped each other out. About a month later, we met the Sannin, during their battle with Hanzo. After we witnessed that epic battle, we confronted them, and one of them stayed back to take care of us. That person was Jiraiya. He stayed with us and helped us get by, though he refused to teach us ninjutsu until the day we found out Nagato had the Rinnegan. How did you find out? An Iwagakure Chunin had attacked Yuhiko and went to kill him, but Nagato had used his Rinnegan in a fit of rage, and killed the Chunin. Afterwards, Jiraiya-sensei had taught us everything we needed to know about being shinobi. Sometime after Sensei left us, Yuhiko had told us of his dream of peace for AIM, and his ideals had attracted others to his cause. That was the start of the original Akatsuki. Yuhiko had assumed command and had led us faithfully until the day. At that point, Konan had reached over to Naruto and took his hand, to which he squeezed comfortingly. Until the day Yuhiko died. Say no more. Naruto-kun has told me about how Yuhiko died, so I already know. But what about Yoshikagami no Mai, dance of the formula paper? Sasuke asked. That actually came about because of my origami skills. I figured out one day that I could use my origami to accentuate my ninjutsu. Plus, it keeps me young, since I can basically turn myself into paper. How young are we talking about here? My human age would place me in my early 30s, but I'm, in all actuality, barely 17. That's the advantage of having my particular skillset. Even I didn't know that, Naruto remarked. It's because I never told you, Naruto. I didn't know how you'd react knowing I'm years younger than I seem to be. Hey, I'm not complaining. If we go back 3 years, that's all you did. Sasuke said. Your side, team. Dope. Though, here we go again. Sakura sighed out, and making Conan smile at the two's antics. Soon enough, though, their food had been brought and they had began to dig in. They ate their food while still carrying on a good conversation, and the time had come that the four had to part ways, because, let's face it, what happens after a dinner date is best when it happens in pairs. Sasuke and Sakura had walked off to the walls surrounding AIM, and Naruto and Conan had opted to spend the rest of their time out on the town. Their venture had ended up with them on a boat just off the shore of AIM. Thankfully, the waters were calm, nary a wave could be seen. Naruto was laying on the floor of the boat, with Conan laying on his chest, her head just below his chin, both looking up at the clear night sky. It was calming to them both, just being in each other's presence, in each other's arms. Suddenly, it hit Conan, the thing that Naruto had that Yuhiko didn't. Naruto actually cared for her. Yuhiko, he did care, but he put the Akatsuki before her. Naruto would drop the Akatsuki, if it meant that he could be with her. She suddenly felt just one emotion at that moment. Happiness. She was happy that Naruto would drop everything, even his plight for peace, just for her. And as much as she wanted to remember Yuhiko, he was dead, and she had someone in her presence right now that had been betrayed, spat on, stepped on, hit, stabbed and everything else in between, and she wanted to make him feel what true love was, so. Naruto-kun, Conan said, getting a low hum from Naruto, a signal that he was almost asleep. I have an answer for you. Now shaking the cobweb out of his head, Naruto let Conan up so she could look him straight in the eyes. Cerulean blue met amber, and both people there blushed upon seeing the love they both held for each other. That being said, Naruto knew Conan's answer even before she said it. I love you so much, Uzumaki Naruto. And my official answer is yes. I want to be with you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You took the words straight out of my mouth. Naruto found himself leaning in, and Conan found herself leaning in also. Both parties there held their breath in anticipation, and, finally, their lips met in a kiss that sent electricity through their bodies. At first contact, it was soft and tender. But as the kiss continued, Naruto found that Conan was getting more and more aggressive, and two could play at that game, he reasoned. He gently bit at Conan's lower lip, and she opened her mouth, letting Naruto in. His tongue and hers met in a fierce battle for dominance, but Naruto had come out the victor, but not before Conan pushed him onto his back, straddled him and continued the fierce makeout session. Naruto's hands had roamed to Conan's back, and he had began to work on untying her corset, and Conan had to agree. It was getting way too hot for the clothes they had on. Naruto had worked her corset off, and Conan had slipped off his jacket and the vest, then both went back to their lip lock. Again, Naruto's hands roamed around her body, making Conan moan into their kiss every time Naruto hit just the right spots, but eventually, his hands had stopped at her ass. Now, at this point, they both looked like a hot mess, but they didn't care. That was telegraphed when Naruto gave Conan's ass a good squeeze, to which Conan responded with a low moan. She broke the kiss and allowed herself some time to breathe. Damn Ko-chan, you're wild. Even Yuhiko couldn't handle me. I think I'll fare better. You already are. Naruto had let Conan have her time being dominant, so he had flipped their positions, and he couldn't help but love the look on his new girlfriend's face. It was a mix between surprise and excitement. Conan had taken hold of Naruto's tie, and had pulled him back into another makeout. During it, she had worked off his tie and his shirt, to which Naruto had taken her right breasts into his right hand and abandoned her lips for her neck. He could feel himself being driven crazy by Conan's soft moans, as he attacked her neck with fervor, then attacked her lips once again. She had her arms wrapped around Naruto's neck and was also running her fingers through his orange locks, and didn't complain when the top to her dress was pulled down, exposing her breasts to the night air of AIM. Naruto had to take a moment to drink in just how sexy Conan looked right now. There she was, lying below him, letting him have his way, hair messed up, her 34DS exposed for all to see, and a deep blush on her face. She, at least to Naruto, was the very definition of an angel, and he was glad that she would be his from this night forward. Perfection was all Naruto got to say before Conan had flipped their positions like he did. That night, if a person were to sail past their general location, they would hear the many shameless moans coming from their tenchi, the sound of flesh hitting flesh, Conan's many cries of approval, and, above all else, Naruto Kuu and yelled Conan to the high heavens as she finally hit her high and collapsed on top of her lover and superior. Naruto had pulled out and reached for the blanket that was inside the boat with them, and draped it over both of their naked forms. He hugged Conan tightly, as if afraid to lose her, and she caught this. Naruto-kun, others may have abandoned and betrayed you, but I'll stay by your side. What we did tonight marks me as yours and yours only. Even if the Akatsuki should collapse, I'll stay by your side as your second in command and your lover. I love you, Naruto-kun. And I love you, Ko-chan. Their peace being said, the two lovers had fallen asleep a few minutes later in each other's arms, a content smile on both their faces, especially Conan's. Both knew they had found true love in each other, and they would be damned if they were going to be torn from each other. Uzumaki Naruto and Conan, the god and his angel, both slept peacefully under the starry skies, with nary a care in the world, just the way they wanted it. One thing was at the forefront of his mind. When That one thought had always run through his mind, and this fight was no different. Sasuke quickly brought down his kusanagi, and the person he was fighting had made the move he was hoping for. The person had tried to block his kusanagi with a kunai, resulting in said sword to phase through the kunai. The person in question, however, was quick enough to back out of the way just in time to dodge the swipe, but got batted away by the kick Sasuke had sent into their head. Stabbing his kusanagi into the ground, Sasuke weaved through the 7 hand seals necessary and landed on the tiger seal. Kaden. Kikaku no Jutsu. Fire release. Great fireball technique, Uchiha thought, expelling a huge fireball out of his mouth, in the direction of his opponent, who weaved through their own 5 hand seals, and spit out a line of water that erupted into a huge wall of water. Sujinheki, water encampment wall, a good counter. Commented Sasuke as he withdrew some shuriken that had some steel wire tied to them, but the wire was so thin that only the most astute eyes could see it. Throwing the shuriken, and directing a few to hit his opponent, so as they wouldn't be wise to his plan. As expected, the person blocked the shuriken and they dropped to the ground, seemingly harmless they weren't. Sasuke went through the 4 hand seals, again landing on the tiger seal. Kaden. Ryuka no Jutsu. Fire release. Dragon fire technique. And as Sasuke's thought, the wires had been lit alight with his Kaden jutsu, and immediately engulfed the person he was fighting. He had thought himself victorious then and there, but the flames started to spiral. Yes, the flames had spiraled down into a central point that once was a sphere of blue chakra. In his haste, Sasuke had forgotten about the Rasengan, and had now given his opponent a free upgrade to the technique. Sasuke's opponent dashed forward at speeds matching Lee without weights, and he knew that he wouldn't have time to dodge at the speed his opponent was going, so his Magikyu sprang to life, and his Susanoo was awakened. The Uchiha hoped that his base Susanoo was enough to block the upgraded S-rank ninjutsu, and left his fate up for the gods to decide. An explosion rocked the area, and there where Uchiha stood, a hole burned through his Susanoo and his opponent's right hand hovering just over his heart. It was only an instant, but he saw clearly his opponent had replaced the flames with boil release. Yes, it was boil release, it had to be, but it had burned through his Susanoo. The ultimate defense of the Uchiha clan had been melted like butter, he just couldn't fathom it. A sweet giggle brought Sasuke out of his reverie, and he turned his attention to his opponent who also was his girlfriend. Sakura had just won probably the biggest fight of her life, against the Uchiha prodigy no less. Well, looks like Naruto was right in bringing you with him, Sakura-chan, you've won your spot on the Akatsuki. Then, which of the new rings am I gonna get? Naruto gave me this one, which ironically, will be a perfect match for you. The ring Sakura had gotten from Sasuke had made her smile for 2 reasons. 1. It was the final piece she needed to become an official Akatsuki member, and 2. She remembered back to one day, while they were still Konoha shinobi, she had dragged Naruto off to do some shopping, and she had seen a ring she wanted, but didn't have enough money, much to her own chagrin. Apparently, Naruto had remembered that day and had ordered a ring that would fit her perfectly. The kanji on the ring read Sakura. She would have said thank you next, had she not seen Sasuke kneel down on one of his knees. Immediately then she knew what was going on. Naruto told me about that day you wanted a ring like this, but couldn't get it. To be honest, he helped me get this, cost us a pretty penny, but it's well worth it. Haruno Sakura, will you marry me? I saw Sasuke-kana, yes. And as soon as Sasuke had risen, he found himself on the receiving end of one of the biggest kisses he had ever gotten from Sakura, and had returned it in kind. Truly, both of them were happy, happier than they've ever been. But the contrast was evident with Naruto, who was currently looking over his village, as always. You mean to tell me there's another stage to the Rinnegan? How is this possible? Our blonde Cage asked to seemingly no one. Hi. That one fact seemed to slip my mind during our last conversation. I apologize, said the person, rather the spirit, standing behind him. The almighty Rikido Senin forgot about his own eyes. Not every day someone can say they heard the come from the source in all seriousness, though, what do I have to do to awaken the final stage to the Rinnegan? The Kamishini Rinnegan, God-killing Samsara Eye, was my personal variation of the Rinnegan. I named it Kamishini because during my confrontation with the Jubi, it was only my eyes that allowed me to fight it on equal terms. And as to how you unlock it, well Naruto, you won't like it. Same as attaining the Magikyu. No, you have to either kill or feel the emotion of the death of one of your family. And considering I have no living blood relatives except for Karen and Tsunade, and also considering I have no relations with either, looks like the Kamishini Rinnegan is beyond my reach. So you would actually do it? Of course not. I considered the means to obtain the Magikyu barbaric, so why would I make an exception for this? The point though, I must say, you're doing pretty good so far with what you have. You've given the world pause and Konoha is on the fence. Plus, you created a 6th nation. Pretty good for your first 4 months. I've taken up your will. Plus, it was the will of my now deceased godfather. This task has fallen to me to accomplish and I will do so. At any cost. Hi, at any cost. Then you have conviction. Very good. Now, my chakra is low, let me back into your body so I can replenish. Of course, The first sage then put a hand on one of Naruto's shoulders, then got melded back into said person's body, just as Konan walked in. Naruto-kun, the two envoys from Suna and Konoha are here to negotiate the details of this year's Chunin exams, spoke the angel of Akatsuki. Send them in, please. Nodding, Konan walked out, and a few minutes later, the Konoha and Suna representatives walked in. In a while, hasn't it, Shikamaru? Asked Naruto as he turned to greet his guests. That it has, Naruto. I see you're keeping your village in working order, spoke Shikamaru after shaking Naruto's hand. I wouldn't be a good cage otherwise. And how are you today, Temari? As good as I can be, considering I woke up to paperwork and was then sent here for negotiations for the Chunin exams. I'll agree that paperwork is indeed irksome. Now, come, let us begin. Tsunade-sama has put forward the notion that this year's Chunin exams should be held here in AIM, Shikamaru said. Gar has also put forward that notion. And from the envoys from Kiri, Kumo and Iwa, they concur. So, will you agree to this, Naruto? Temari asked. Hi. I agree to this. I must say that it will be an honor for the Chunin exams to be held in my nation. Then we'll need to organize the proper amenities for the nations that will be participating, which are, as it stands, Konoha, Suna, Iwa, Kumo, Kiri, Odo, and of course AIM. Shikamaru answered. I'll arrange for our finest hotels to be prepared for the day. Speaking of which, what's the timetable? A few more months at least, considering all of the paperwork all of the other cages are going through, plus the added stress that's been put on Tsunade-sama since the little spy fiasco. Growling lowly, Naruto turned to Temari and said, please, give us a few moments privacy. Nodding rather hesitantly, Temari shared a look with Shikamaru before stepping out. Waiting for Temari to be completely out of the room, Naruto took a deep breath and let it out slowly, as he turned around to stare at his village. You know what it's like to have 1,000 or more lives riding on your very whims, Shikamaru. Can't say that I do. Enlighten me. Most people would call it power. The power to rule over man, the power to wage wars, the power to shape the very earth. That's not true power. What is, then? Naruto then closed his eyes and smirked just as the rain intensified. Turning around, the once cerulean blue eyes Shikamaru had been staring into was now replaced by the familiar ripple pattern of the Rinnegan. And at that one moment, a streak of lightning had crashed behind Naruto, the light radiating from it illuminating Naruto and pronouncing his smirk and the Rinnegan, which had black in the center. Yes, this Rinnegan was different in the fact that the entire center was black, and Naruto's pupil had turned white. Shikamaru at the sight of this new Rinnegan was, for one of the only times in his life, truly, completely, utterly and totally scared. The feeling he got from this one image terrified him to his core. The feeling was one of hopelessness, of insignificance, of pain. It's the illusion of having power that is the real power, Shikamaru. The illusion. That's right. The cages, and even the daimyos, think they have power. The cages only have power because of two things. 1. They are elected by a popular vote, a vote from the jounin of their village, and a recommendation from their daimyo. The second reason that the cages, and shinobi in general have any power, is because of the Rikido Sennin. Had he not come around and taught his lessons on ninchu, chakra wouldn't have been discovered, and shinobi wouldn't exist as they are in today's time. I already know this. What's your point? My point is, Shikamaru, that we are only as what Kami wants us to be. That's why I say that the illusion of having power is the real power, because I am Kami. I am order. I am truth. I am pain. Stop taking drugs, Naruto. They'll fuck up your brain. Hey, you don't believe me? Not for 1 second. Then kneel. I won't. Not to you or Wa. Shikamaru found himself kneeling against his will. First, he took one knee, then he was down to both, then he found himself bowing down with his nose just inches from the concrete floor. As you can see, Shikamaru, I have control over everything. I am the second sage of the 6 paths. I am a god in human form. What I wish becomes a reality. Naruto stopped himself and waved a hand over the skyline of AIM, and in just a few short seconds, the rain stopped, the clouds cleared, and the sun had started shining. Why are you telling me this? So you can go back and tell Senju Tsunade that the Chunin exams will not ease the tension between us and Konoha. So you can tell her that I will not stand for any other spy attempts, so that she will know that she has made an enemy of Kami, an enemy she will regret making sometime soon, I assure you. War? No, not war. Suffering. Complete and total suffering. Senju Tsunade will come to know pain, she will accept pain, she will feel pain, and when she understands what true pain is, then and only then will she be remotely unequal to me. Until then, she's just like the one I knew as Toby. Arrogant, delusional, idealistic, pathetic. Until she knows pain, I will know nothing but utter disgust for her. You have fallen far, Naruto. That's what Niji said just before he tried to kill me. Don't make his mistake, Shikamaru. You're one of my oldest friends and I wish no harm to come upon you. Then why did I make you kneel? So you could experience for yourself the power that I alone command. Honestly, would you want to face someone on the battlefield that can do what I just made you do? Realistically, no, I see your point, but can you let me up? Sure. Now being released from the oppressive feeling, Shikamaru stood up to face Naruto, only for Naruto to turn around again and stare over AIM, just as the rain started up again. You've talked enough, Shikamaru. Go and report back to Senju. And tell her about everything that happened here. Everlast the tale, exactly as I said it. Hi Naruto, despite what's happened, both here and in the past, just remember that I'm still your friend. I feel the same way, Shikamaru. Now, please, I wish to be alone for now. Tell Konan that as well. Hi, goodbye, Naruto. Once Shikamaru was gone, the spirit of the Rikido Sennin had exited Naruto's body and stood beside him, arms crossed and staring out over aim like him. I never knew you had that side of you, Naruto said. Hi, it took more of my chakra than I thought it would, but the possession was successful, and I think that Naruto got the message, and so will that Senju woman once he returns to Konoha. The possession took up your chakra because you imposed your will on him using what I'm guessing was a downplayed version of the Kamishini Rinnegan. That's right. I was able to muster enough of my chakra to bring back my Kamishini Rinnegan and use it through you temporarily. You've just used 2 of his powers through me. The ability to impose my will on others and the ability to control everything within a certain distance of me. Correct on both counts. Once you eventually get the Kamishini Rinnegan, I can already tell that you'll have better mastery of it than I did. But people regarded you as a god. And now you will be my second coming. You will be a god on earth, just like I was. You will be able to do anything you can ever imagine with just your eyes. You will truly be Kami, Naruto, and you'll have to become nothing less to change this world. And how do you know all of this? I'm a god, Naruto. True. All throughout this exchange, plus Naruto's conversation with Shikamaru, Hinata had been sitting on top of the roof to the balcony listening in. What she was trying to do was obvious. Eavesdrop on Naruto's most private meetings, but what she was now hearing was an earful for her. The original Rikido Sennin alive through the form of a spirit. And he was using Naruto as a host. And he could possess Naruto at a moment's notice. And something about Niji's last words didn't sit right with her. She felt as if something was missing. Then, so, how's Niji working out as one of your paths? The sage asked. Surprisingly well. His body was at first resisting my attempts to control it, but I eventually got it to accept my chakra. Niji was trying to put up a fight even in death. That's a Hyuga for you. Strong until the end. He died trying to do what he thought best, you know. And his definition of best was trying to assassinate me. He told him Hinata was dead, only for her to walk in at the most inopportune time. Of course, he'd be pissed enough to try and kill you. That was it. Hinata had finally gotten the truth straight from the source of it all, and she wasn't happy about it at all. Slowly getting up from her kneel position, and looking at Naruto's position through her Byakugan, she knew she only had one shot at it, one shot to end it all. But, could she do it? Hell yes. She took a short leap off of the balcony and twisted herself, so her first 2 fingers would be jammed right between Naruto's eyes. But when Naruto had come within her visual range, she was surprised to see his right hand pointed right at her. Then she heard the 2 words she thought she'd never hear again, Shinra Tensei. The Shinra Tensei. Naruto had released hit Hinata with the force of 300 Tsunade super punches, directly to the chest. Most of her ribs had been broken, a limb collapsed, and many other internal injuries was the result of the very first Shinra Tensei Naruto had ever released in the time he had gotten the Rinnegan. Hinata had been sent flying backwards wide a ways before she was being drawn back towards Naruto, thanks to him using Bansho Tenin. Ending up in a tight chokehold courtesy of Naruto, Hinata found herself being dangled quite a ways above solid ground, as Naruto had walked to the very edge of the overhanging statue. Having been alerted to trouble by the thunderous sound that was Naruto's Shinra Tensei, the entirety of Akatsuki had all shown up at the same time and was all standing inside the building, with Naruto and Hinata being the only 2 standing outside in the ring. Naruto's gaze pierced straight through Hinata, who was just about to pass out, but was instantly rejuvenated, thanks to the glare Naruto gave her. So, yet another one betrays us, and this betrayal will have the same result as the last, it seems. Naruto spoke with a voice filled with nothing more than authority and power. You go ahead, do it, was Hinata's labored reply. Growling like he did with Shikamaru, Naruto glanced over his shoulder to Sakura, who shook her head, then to Konan, who nodded her head. He then glanced over to Sasuke, who, surprisingly, shook his head. Turning his attention back to Hinata, Naruto spoke. No, there's already been enough death. Hyuga Hinata, I hereby take your chakra away, and I sentence you to life imprisonment in the Hazuki-jo, Demon Lantern Castle, the Blood Prison. Naruto then threw Hinata unceremoniously back into the Akatsuki Tower, where Sasuke was weaving through a few hand signs, the same hand signs Naruto was flashing through. Kisame stepped in, picked Hinata up by the collar of her shirt, and slammed her chest first into the far wall, then turned her around, while using a kunai to slice open the front of her shirt, exposing her well-toned and flat stomach. Keeping Hinata held up, Kisame smiled his sick smile as Sasuke stepped to the Hyuga first, and placed his left hand on her stomach and his right hand on her head. Naruto stepped to next and placed his right hand over her heart and his left on top of her head, like Sasuke did. Hinata's Byakugan had activated without her consent, and Sasuke's Sharingan blazed in his eyes, while Naruto's Rinnegan glowed a faint gray color, just as pure chakra surrounded all 3 of the Jujutsu users. Slowly, but surely, Hinata's chakra shrouds started to dissipate little by little, until there was just a small cloud of it left, centered around her heart. Only a very few of the Akatsuki there knew what was happening, but those who didn't got the name of the jutsu when Naruto and Sasuke yelled in unison. Fuin Jutsu. Densetsu no Chakra Fuin. Sealing Technique. Legendary Chakra Seal. The last cloud of chakra disappeared from Hinata's body, and so did her Byakugan. Once the process was complete, Naruto and Sasuke removed their hands, and Kisame let the Hyuga clatter to the ground. Naruto and Sasuke's white and purple chakra shrouds respectively disappeared, and they both cut chakra flow to their eyes, knowing they didn't need their jujutsu in Hinata's presence any longer. What just happened? Asked Sakura. They just took away all of Hinata's chakra. She's not a shinobi anymore. Sujetsu replied nonchalantly. All of her chakra? How? The legendary chakra seal is one of those scary types of Fuinjutsu that not only seals the target's chakra, it literally sucks the target dry of their chakra and distributes it equally between the casters. That being said, it usually requires 2 or more practitioners in order to be used to its full capacity. But that's not the kicker. No matter if the person survives the extraction process, there's no way in hell that the target can get their chakra back. By any means. Because their chakra has now been added to the practitioners in this case, Naruto-kan and Sasuke-kan now have Hinata's chakra circulating within them. Correction. It's no longer Hinata's chakra. It's Naruto and Sasuke's chakra now. And like I said before, Hinata can't, under any circumstances, get her chakra back. Why not? Because this is one of the only known jutsu that permanently takes away chakra. You saw what Naruto and Sasuke did with their hands, right? After a positive nod from Sakura, Sujetsu continued. That wasn't because they wanted to get a quick feel in on her, they were targeting her Karakake, chakra pathway system, directly. The chakra that they stole, the leech directly from the source. In other words, her chakra pathway system has been dried up, in a way. To sum it up, yes. Her Karakake is like a plant that has been completely starved of water. Dry, shriveled, parched, whichever words you want to use for it. Even if someone were to try and implant chakra directly into Hinata's Karakake, it would do no good. Because her Karakake is dead. Sasuke finished. Precisely. When should we send this Hyuga bitch to the Hazuki-jo, Naruto? Asked Uchiha while turning to face his leader. Immediately. Sujetsu, Jugo, you two oversee the transfer. Answered Naruto before getting 2 affirmative hastes from both Sujetsu and Jugo. Jugo then picked up the corpse-like body of Hinata and started for the exit. Goddamn shame, that shoe wasn't that bad looking. Sujetsu remarked before following his partner out. Everyone else, back to your posts. Finish your shifts. Naruto commanded, making all of the Akatsuki, save for Konan, disappear. Hinata was one of my most treasured friends. Konan had killed me inside too, so that. He told me how close you two had become in the past. Naruto-kan, just keep in mind that this was for the good of the world. I know, I guess it's still kinda hard to go against my former friends like this. But now the last of the traitors has been weeded out. I know, which takes some pressure off of me, but still I have to unite the world. You will, Naruto-kun. Naruto then wrapped his arms around Konan's waist. I know, with an angel by my side, how can I lose? And with Kami on our side, how can we lose? Naruto laughed lightly at his girlfriend's remark, and quickly brought her in for a kiss, to which she eagerly accepted. The Wagakure. Inoki's office. Midnight that night, we find Inoki slowly floating about his office, as if in contemplation. This alliance with AIM is just for show, and I'm sure that Naruto knows this, but what if I break it and he makes good on his threat? No, he wouldn't do that. He'd have Konoha to deal with, along with the rest of the shinobi nations, because he's the one initiating war in that case. No, Naruto's too smart for that. But I have to find a good way to break this alliance without there being any severe repercussions. Thought the aged cage in silent contemplation, until... Might you do this often, Inoki-san? Came a shrill voice from the corner of his office. Is there an interested party, Inoki-san? I know how much of a thorn AIM, and that Uzumaki brat is in your side. I have come to offer you a way out of the predicament you now find yourself ensnared in. And just who are you? A man with a maroon-colored cloak and circular glasses, then stepped out of the shadows, making Inoki do a double take upon the person's appearance. You may call me Yakushi Kabuto. Thanks for watching.